a static charge.
Dude, I did just at the same time. Look at that.
Yeah, the hair's standing up on my right arm.
Both of mine. I just heard something down here.
Carl, or the one, or whoever you are down here. We've heard stories that you've made people run out of here because they were so terrified.
Hi.
Hello. What?
All right, Dave, so we are here in Felicity, Ohio,
Yes, we are.
and tonight we're going to investigate the Broadwell Funeral Home.
Here we are. Another location tonight. Something kind of new for us, a funeral home. I don't think we've ever done a funeral home before.
No, I think this is the first funeral home that we've ever done for the channel, and really the first funeral home I think I've ever investigated. So it's going to be an interesting night, and it's actually just the two of us here tonight because both Jason and Steve had to work. So
They did.
we're going to get to tackle this place just the two of us.
Absolutely. I think we've got some potential thunderstorms moving in later on, so that'll be good if they end up getting here. And yeah, a completely brand new experience here for us tonight.
Yeah, this funeral home in particular, I believe they said it was built in 1910.
I think so, yeah.
So, and it operated as a funeral home for over 60 years. So that's a lot of funerals, a lot of death. And those are the two most emotionally charged moments in anyone's life, especially for the people around us, are the moment that we're born and the moment that we die. And being in the business of death and being in the business of funerals, there's probably a lot of energy trapped here in this building.
I would imagine so. I'm anxious to get in here and speak with Mike and see what he has to say about the place, the homeowner.
Yeah, I'm really interested as well, and I have heard that Mike has had some paranormal experiences of his own here. You want to go inside and talk to Mike and see what he's experienced?
Let's go find him.
All right, let's do it.
Would I say the Broadwell Funeral Home is haunted? Oh, definitely. It is definitely. The chair that you're sitting in will rock just for no reason. We've had people here that tell us that the spirits do not like the chair in the living room. It does not belong in the living room. And if we leave it in the living room, it will just spontaneously rock. It was built in 1910 by a man by the name of Christopher Broadwell, and he operated it as the Broadwell Funeral Home from 1910 until 1944. In 1944, he decided he wanted to retire. He sold the business to a man by the name of Carl Gwatney, and he operated it from 44 until 74. The first night that they were here, we went to the basement. I was a big non-believer at that time in the paranormal. I just thought it was a bunch of hocus pocus. Well, we got in the basement. That's where the embalming room was in the basement, and we were standing back in the embalming room, and the gentleman that was holding the ghost box, he was asking questions, and he was getting answers to those questions. Probably 5 or 6 questions went by, and he asked, when you were alive, did you work in this house? And the answer was yes. When you were alive, were you the undertaker? Answer was yes. When you were alive, what was your name? And it came back clear, Carl. So that was the second owner of the house. And he said, do you know who currently owns the house? And as clear as we're sitting here talking, the spirit answered, Mike. So when we finished downstairs and we came upstairs, my wife was sitting in the other room and she's watching all this on a monitor. And she looked at me and she said, if you think I'm moving into this house, you're out of your mind. So we've decided we're going to turn this into a haunted bed and breakfast.
All right, Dave, so we are now inside the Broadwell Funeral Home. And it's kind of funny how we came across this location. It was literally last minute. So we want to thank Mike, who owns this beautiful funeral home, and Austin from the Paranormal Underground Network. and everyone that's involved here for allowing us to come in here and investigate and film, because we literally got a hold of them today around noon to come here and film this, and drove the 4 hours it took to get here to start this investigation. And it was the most last minute thing ever, so we want to thank them personally. And it's interesting listening to Mike talk about this place, because he wants to turn this old funeral home that was built in 1910 into a haunted bed and breakfast. And I think that's just a crazy cool idea. I think this is going to be an awesome attraction that people can come, have paranormal experiences, and turn it into a weekend getaway. So whenever they finish that, this is going to be a really cool location. But there's a lot of paranormal activity because it was an old funeral home. I mean, Dave, what feeling do you get walking in here?
I just heard a really high-pitched humming sound.
I did too.
That wasn't your stomach?
It came from like right over here. I thought it was your stomach at first.
No.
Dave, what feeling do you get walking in here?
I just heard a really high-pitched humming sound.
I did too.
Down here feels just a little more sad, a little more solemn as you walk through the door, and you kind of just feel like the eyes on you once you walk through the door. We don't really know what to expect, and we're already hearing stuff.
Yeah.
There's no doubt it's the Broadwell Funeral Home's haunted. The first time I came here, I got in the crawl space, and it told me to go or I'm going to effing crawl in there with you. One time I was here with Mike Brill was upstairs cleaning, and I was over here on the side room, and the door behind me was open, and then when I came over to get something, it was closed. So then I put a camera up, and I was over there, you can hear me cleaning, and then you can see it on the camera. It just swings open, shut, and then it just shuts real hard.
It definitely is creepy down here.
Oh yeah. And I believe Mike was saying that the room right up here to the right is where they actually did the embalming. And if you go in and look up into the rafters of the ceiling, you can see where the lift would have been, where they would have lifted the casket up to the viewing room.
You can even see on the ground where you have the walls that would have gone around this room right here.
Yeah, he said right up against this wall over here and over here is where they had the tables, and of course it would drain right down through here. And right here was your lift.
But you have to think about, in the process of embalming these bodies, there's not a lot that we understand about death. And that's the most incredibly fascinating part about this for me, is just the mystery behind it. Could there still be a piece of energy left within these people when they made it to this room, and that energy left whenever they embalmed their body? And maybe that's why there's paranormal activity down here. Or maybe it has to do with the people that used to live and run this facility.
There's a guy named Carl. There's one named One. He calls himself One. And we believe that he's the one that makes people sick. He's made teams run out of the house. They've completely just left. I've seen people coming out of here puking, stomach aches, pains, can't go on, gotta go home. Some of them won't even come back in the basement.
All right, so up these stairs is actually where they would have lived. The people that worked here, the people that ran this place. And this is their sleeping quarters, and there's a lot of activity up here. Mike had said this is probably the most active place in the entire building, was this second floor. And he's had more experiences up here than anywhere else in the building. So it's interesting, I think.
Go check it out.
The first time that we worked on the house, we were tearing the plaster out of upstairs. That evening, after the people that were here working, when they left, they had left the plaster grit all over the floor, so I thought, well, I'm going to clean all that up. And I had my two dogs up here with me. All of a sudden, I heard this like a grit, you know how when there's something on the floor and you step, like it was coming up the stairs. So both of the dogs got up and they ran over and was standing at the top of the stairs looking down the stairs. And I walked over and hello, nobody talking to me, nobody answering, and the door was locked. There was nobody in here but me and the two dogs. and I went back upstairs and went back to sweeping, and a few minutes later I heard that sound again. The dogs ran over to the stairs and was looking down, and again, nobody there.
So Mike did confirm to us that there was one death within the house, and it actually would have been down this hallway here in this bedroom, and it was one of the old owners of the funeral home named Woodrow. Yeah. And they said that to this day that they have a problem with flies in there, which is strange.
Yeah.
Upstairs in the back room, even when it's -3 degrees outside, the whole entire room's full of flies. There shouldn't be flies in the middle of -3 degree weather. They were there all winter, and just that room.
You know, there has to be something unexplained to the reason why the flies collect and congregate on these windows. I mean, they said they just come by the hundreds, if not thousands, and just get trapped. And he even said it looked like the window would be moving with the number of flies attached to the windows. So, but this isn't the most active room.
It is not.
Mike said the most active room is right down the hallway here.
The middle bedroom upstairs, I was hanging drywall, and in the closet. When I got finished, I came out and my one dog was laying on the floor. I told her she was going to have to move because I was going to drywall in there. She walked out in the hallway and immediately turned back around and walked back in the room, right over to the closet, and just took her head and peeked around the corner, and all the hair on her back stood up, and she just stood there growling.
This is going to be a really interesting spot. I think this whole area, this whole floor is going to be good to just set up a camera. You can pick and choose whichever end of the hallway we want to do, but for the abandonment, where we leave our cameras set up and go, which we've been doing for years now, I think this second floor, we're going to want a wide shot of that hallway into the different bedrooms, because you never know what's going to happen up here.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited to get started with this investigation. I'm excited to start exploring the spirits and the energies of the Broadwell Funeral Home.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's get started.
Let's knock it out.
All right, so Dave and I are here by ourselves inside the Broadwell Funeral Home. We're gonna start with the basement because Chris told us so many interesting things about this basement and how he said that it starts to come alive around midnight. Well, it's getting close to midnight. So this is where we wanna be, is down here in the basement. Dave's gonna run the Estes because he is the best out of any of us at hearing the voices, and hopefully we can get some good activity down here, so let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, roll in there. All right, let's do this.
Ask him.
Ask who? Just started right out the gate. You got a voice. If there's anyone down here, my name is Ryan. And that's Dave. We're here to communicate with you. We've heard a lot about you. Chris was telling us that you like to make people sick down here. That you like to open and close doors.
Move back, maybe?
Move back. That's weird. I was getting ready to walk through this door, if that is what it said. I'm hearing something upstairs. It sounds like it's coming from this room here. Whoa. Temperature drop. It's the blue light. Holy sh**. I'm gonna set this on top of this tank. And it stopped. I walked into this room, and as soon as I stepped over that REM pod, there was an extreme
I don't know why I'm getting like a very overwhelming smell of vinegar.
Doesn't embalming fluid smell like vinegar? I'm not sure, I can't say that for sure, but I stepped over that REM pod, and as soon as I stepped over it, it went off. And then it basically what it did was it detected a sudden drop in temperature, extreme drop in temperature. For it to beep that fast and that loud, it means it was an extreme drop in temperature. And that was weird.
There's a male voice that keeps trying to come through. You might want to ask him to speak stronger.
Who's the male that's talking? Carl, is that you? If you want us to hear your message, you're gonna have to talk louder. Go over there closer to Dave. If this is the one we're speaking to, or whatever Chris called you, can you come closer and talk louder as well?
Slowed it down a little bit.
Dave slowed down the sweep to see if that would help you speak more easily.
Thought I heard the word dead.
Are you talking about yourself, or are you talking about the people that were embalmed right where Dave is sitting?
Speeding it back up. Carl, are you down here?
Carl, like Dave said, are you down here?
They went down, go back down, something like that.
I'm gonna shut this door to try and drown out the sound of that water. That helps a little bit. Carl, if you ran this funeral home and you died,
after you retired, why did you come back here? There's a lot of speculation on things, and Chris has told us that you've given him some answers, but we want you to tell us for yourself, because we don't want to get it wrong. We don't want to tell your story wrong. If you're down here, can you tell Dave your name so we know who we're talking to?
Hi.
Hello. What? Are you behind me? Can you shut that door? You did it for Chris. Can you just give it a push? Do you like people coming into this basement trying to talk to you? Do you like people coming into this basement trying to talk to you?
I'm gonna turn it off now. Is there anything you wanted to say? Not a whole lot there.
That's alright, because some weird stuff is happening out here.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
There's a weird vibe in here.
A little bit. It's a little apprehensive.
If there's anyone here... That came from over here.
Yeah.
That wants to talk to us. Man, I got like a static charge.
Dude, I did just at the same time. Look at that.
Yeah, the hair's standing up on my right arm.
Both of mine.
Are you standing right here in between us?
A 100% charged right here.
Yeah. Both at the same time, we both felt it. Yeah.
Did you hear that?
No, what'd you hear?
I heard like a So weird. It feels like there's something playing with the hairs on my arm.
Yeah, me too. My right arm is just like standing straight up like someone's holding a balloon to my right arm.
Mm-hmm. We can feel your energy in here. And that's okay. That's why we're here. That was too weird.
That was. Woodrow or Carl or anyone that's here that can hear my voice. We're not here to try and intrude. We're here to talk to you. We're here to learn about why you love this building so much. How many services did you hold in here? How many viewings? That was a weird sound. How many services did you hold in here? How many viewings? Viewings.
Come on in here with us. You don't have to be afraid. Did you work here? Did they have your funeral here? Did somebody you know have a funeral right here in this room?
Mike said he's going to turn this place into a haunted bed and breakfast. Would you like it if he turned this into a place where people can come and stay?
What about that door to the basement right there? Can you push that open? What about that door to the basement right there? Can you push that open? Or pull it the rest of the way closed? Come on, we'd really like to see that.
Or if you walk down the stairs for us, it'll let us know that you're here. Come on down and stand on that landing before you get to the bottom. Weight on the floor up above our heads. Who's upstairs? You can come down here and talk to us. You don't have to avoid us, that's why we're here.
Woodrow, are you up there? Could you try and do this for me if you're up there? Would you like us to come upstairs and talk to you? If you would, knock on something.
Woodrow? That was a weird sound. It came from his room.
Sounds like it's starting to downpour.
It does. There's a storm moving in. Can you get energy from the water? Can you get energy from the water to come communicate with us?
Woodrow, we know that you unfortunately passed away in this room. Would you mind coming in here and talking to us? I think my dead light just died.
Completely?
Yes.
It didn't dim before it died, did it?
No.
Woodrow, are you pulling energy from that light that Dave had? Because normally those dim down pretty low before they die.
Yeah, we've really only been using them at half.
Yeah. Are you draining our batteries, Woodrow? We'd also love it if we could hear your voice.
Was that you?
No.
Come on out, Woodrow.
That sounds straight up like someone walking around downstairs.
Was that you?
No.
Was that you?
No.
I wonder if it's the chair.
What if it is the chair rocking?
Hey, you wanna go check?
Yeah.
No, it's still.
But that was loud. Rosalie, if you're here, you can come talk to us. Or I can come up into the attic and hang out with you.
I just heard something down here.
What did you hear?
It's like a very distinct knocking sound. Who was that? I don't know how you didn't hear that.
I heard you turn and move.
That was very strange.
Who's the spirit that Mike's dog picked up on? There's a dog barking outside right now. Well, do you want to do the solo? Solos?
Yeah, we can. I just thought I heard a whistle.
Solos?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. I just thought I heard a whistle.
I think because people saw a little girl in the attic, and that's not an area that's very easily accessible, I kind of want to climb up that ladder into the attic and see if I can communicate up there. I want to take the SLS with me.
Okay.
And set that up and maybe a camera on a tripod up there.
Okay.
And see if I can get some communication with whoever's up there. So, you were getting a lot of activity on this first floor.
I was.
We can try and do first floor and attic and see if we can get some activity there without contaminating each other.
Yeah, we can see what happens.
Yeah. So I'm going upstairs by myself into the attic, and if you're wondering how you get to the attic, because we didn't do it on the walkthrough, there it is. So I'm gonna have to climb my happy ass up here. A lot of people have reported seeing a little girl looking out this attic window up here.
Mm-hmm.
So this just goes to show you.
You want to trade me? Go camera first, and I'll hand everything up.
Sure. Got it. I want to show you guys this here real quick. I don't know if you can see that or not, but right here on the rock it says 1910. And then it says 1029. So it's weird to think about that. It's 2021, and this was probably carved into this chimney 111 years ago. 111 years ago. That's crazy. 111 years ago.
Just in case we didn't introduce ourselves earlier, my name is Dave, and upstairs in the attic is my buddy Ryan. What's your name? Can you push that rocking chair for me?
Rosalie, if you're up here, could you stand in the middle of the attic? People see you looking out the windows all the time. Whoa. Hello.
I really would like to speak with you and figure out why you're here. Why you haven't moved on or crossed over. Or maybe you're not here at all. But that's why I'm here. To try and find that out. So please don't get upset with me. Please don't get annoyed or frustrated with me.
Could you please step back away from it so it stops alarming? I'm not trying to ruin your fun time here. Please? Whoa. Whoa. Can you just take one more step back? That's weird. Thank you. Could you go and stand out there in the middle so that I can see you? I'll take your picture with this weird looking camera that I have. It takes photographs.
We've been doing this for a very, very, very long time. Trying to communicate with those who have passed on. That we know to have passed on. And maybe you don't know that you've passed away or passed on, and that's okay. This is where most people come for the last time for all of their family to gather around.
It's getting close to the end of our time here. We have a 4-hour drive home. Can you come out and say something to me and speak to me so that I know you're here?
I really wish you would come out and talk to me. I'm not trying to scare you, and I don't want you to scare me. That's not the point here. The point is communication and finding answers to the questions that everybody who are still living have. And over the years, we've gotten some pretty good answers from different places all over the country. Right?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I think there's not much going on up here.
Yeah, there's not down here either.
I was thinking what we could do is do an SLS sweep of the whole house and then see what activity we can get, and if we don't get anything, then we can just start heading home since we have such a long drive.
All right, give me a second. I'll come up and help you.
Okay. All right, so we are getting ready to do an SLS sweep of the full house here, of the full funeral home, to see if we pick up on any figures here. let's end the investigation with a sweep of the full Broadwell Funeral Home.
You want to start in the basement?
Let's start in the basement.
What?
It's mapping the walls around the doorway there.
Is it?
Yeah, so again, when we did the hotel room video, people asked us why we said that it was mapping the furniture in the room. We always say this about the SLS. You have to be aware of your surroundings when you use it. Because as you can see on my screen right now, it is mapping both of the walls on either side of the doorway here. And from looking at the screen, I can tell that 100%. But when you have instances like what we caught at the Twin City Opera House.
That's it. Now, if you could pick up rocks and throw rocks, what? I've never seen that before.
What's that? Is it on
There's
there
something crawling on the floor in front of Dave.
still?
No, it's crawling on the floor.
Like still?
Yeah.
With that figure crawling on the floor when there was nothing there, that is bizarre. That's the stuff that you want to look for. If there's anyone down here, Carl or
What?
I don't know, it just, there's nothing there on the floor. And it just did a weird map. It's mapping this chair right here right now. Something else showed up and like rolled across the floor and then disappeared. That was kind of strange.
Who's down here with us? If you're down here, walk in front of those light beams that you can see. Maybe you can see them, I'm not sure.
Are you over here in the embalming room? Carl, or the one, or whoever you are down here. We've heard stories that you've made people run out of here because they were so terrified. We thought we were making communication with you earlier. Hi. Hello. What?
Or maybe those aren't your names, and that's fine. You can still come out and talk to us.
Alright, let's sweep up. Woodrow, if you're down there at the end of the hallway and you can hear me, if you step out here into the hallway, we can take your picture. I know this is probably a weird looking camera to you, but we use this to take pictures now.
We hear ya. Woodrow, we hear you down there. Can you step out into the hall for us? We're gonna come down, Woodrow. Or Woody, as they called you, I think.
Can I ask you a question, Woody? Why is it they always get flies on the windows in here? Where do the flies come from, and why do they like to stick to the windows in here? It's coming down out there. Yeah, the rain's starting to pick up. I tell you what, it's after the allotted time here, just a few minutes after the allotted time that we paid to be here, so we're probably gonna have to pack up and go, and like I said, we have a 4-hour drive back, so we are probably gonna have to pack up and end this investigation. But I wanted to say before we cut to the end, before we end this investigation, I wanted to say that this is a really cool location. The Broadwell Funeral Home has activity, and we experienced some really interesting energy and some pretty creepy activity throughout the evening.
What about that door to the basement right there? Can you push that open?
And this would be a really amazing location to actually see Mike's dream come to fruition and to see this become a haunted bed and breakfast.
Was that you?
No.
Hi. Hello. What? So, and the best way to do that, guys, is to get out here and book investigations, because that's, you know, the more people that are coming here and investigating, the easier it's going to be for him to be able to get the supplies and things needed to be able to turn this into the bed and breakfast that it can be. So definitely come out here to Felicity, Ohio, and visit and investigate the Broadwell Funeral Home.
Yeah, well, for those who are interested in booking here, I go through the UGPN, the Underground Paranormal Network, and that's Austin Maynard. I think he's in Bryan, Ohio, and that's who you would contact. One other thing that I could mention was that when we first got the house, the plumbing was just a disaster. So we knew we were going to have to replumb the house, and we hired a plumber. And he came in and he worked a day and a half and never came back. He will not, to this day, he will not answer my phone calls. He will not answer text, anything. So I think he did a lot of work in the basement, and I think that he was in the basement and something scared him and he never came back.
If you are here and you're new and you've not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. And of course, remember to turn on your bell notifications and set them to all so you can be alerted every single time we upload. Also, remember to hit that like button down below so that you can be recommended more content, and we will see you in the next video. See you guys.